Welcome back to the channel. Although it feels like the year just began a couple of weeks ago, we are now already in September. And in tradition with what I've been doing recently on the channel, I want to talk about my goals for this month, what I want to achieve, and also reflect on what I've done in the past month. The reason why I do these sorts of videos at the start of every month is both to hold myself accountable, to update you guys with what I'm actually doing, and also to hopefully help you guys on your journey to doing what you wish to do. Now you'll notice that there's a few changes to the video style. We're filming in this portrait mode, not something that I really like to do. The reason why we're doing that is because it turns out that my tripod has failed. It stopped working and snapped off, which basically means I don't really have anything to film on, apart from this makeshift device, which is how I've set it up at the moment. But with that being said, let's jump into the topic for this video and get on to talking about how we've done last month and then move on to the plans for this month. So last month, August, was a mixed one. If you remember at the start of August in the video, I said what I wanted to achieve. I said that I wanted to have an automated YouTube channel, I said that I wanted to have an AI blog, and I also said a couple of other ideas. Now, not all of these went to plan, but some of these did. I didn't start the YouTube channel, not really because of any other reason, apart from the fact that I was a little bit apprehensive as to how this might work in terms of copyright. I know that there's workarounds as to how to deal with this, but it's not really something that I wanted to deal with too much. I think the risk to reward is quite high, especially when I've seen in the past the negative impacts that copyright strikes can have on channels, not just when the videos are released, but potentially months and even years down the line. For that reason, I thought it's something that I just don't really want to deal with. I'd rather make organic content like this that you're seeing right now, which is fully edited and created by me. So, whilst I didn't do that, what I did manage to get round to is the blog. I tried my blog and I actually had some success. I started to see a decent number of followers on the blog, but one problem occurred halfway through, something which I'm currently still working to resolve because I don't really have the technical know-how. It turns out that for some reason, my domain for the blog has stopped working. Either it's disconnected, it's not working in some other sorts of way. I'm still trying to get onto that one, but it was going alright before that. I'm still uploading content on there, but obviously with the site not being reachable, it's not really being seen by too many people, which is quite a problem if I want to continue that. But that is something that I'm going to continue, although with how it's gone, I think it'll be more of a slow burning project than something which I can realistically depend on in the next couple of months. So coming into this month, what do I want to achieve over here? I have different plans for this month based on what I've learned in the past month and based on what I want to see myself doing in the near future. So into August, I actually did start off some business ideas that I didn't disclose on the channel. Not because I wanted to keep them secret, but just because I didn't know I was going to do them. Like I say all the time, opportunities pop up, opportunities disappear. So whilst the YouTube opportunity might have disappeared, a different one popped up. And that came in the form of opening a trading account. Not a stock investing account, but a trading account. Now I'm going to make a full video on this talking about my 30-day results, my 60-day results, when the appropriate dates come along. But at the moment, we're still in the very, very early days. So I have a strategy on this. It's obviously a bit more complicated than how I'm going to explain it. But to quickly summarize what I do with it, I'm looking only to short stocks on this account. Now that's something which some people may think is not the best practice. But for me, it works a bit better because I think whilst being long on a stock can give a lot better results, in my opinion, it's a bit less speculative to be short on a stock. So I look for stocks that have run up 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, 200% in a week, and then I look at why this is. If I see weak fundamentals or no particular reason, I then short the stock. Now I don't do this by actually shorting the stock itself, I do it through a CFD. If those of you who are in the stock market are watching, you'll know what I'm talking about. But to explain what it is, it's not actually betting on the markets. It's having your account on your platform being covered by the platform itself. So essentially I have 10x leverage on that account. So for a 10% return, I make 100% profit. For a 10% loss, I make 100% loss. So I'm currently trying to manage the risk on that. But so far, I am profitable. That's something that I did in the last month. And whilst I've had a trade that I'm in a bit of difficulty with at the moment, it's not the kind of fact that I'm not profitable on it, which currently I'm not. But that's not the problem. The problem is, it's just taking a lot longer than I thought it would. I do believe I am going to turn quite a decent profit on this trade, probably about £200-300, which is not bad for a couple of weeks, about £100 a week if we think about it. But I really wanted to be out of that trade with £200 in a matter of a week. So the fact it's taken 2-3 weeks is disappointing, but hey, well, as long as we're profitable, we're running a decent business. So that's going to be an 18-week experiment that I'm running, and I'm going to fully show all that on the channel on the appropriate dates. But so far, we're, I believe, 1 or 2 weeks into it. I'm going to cover all the figures at the end of the 18-week experiment and show it to you guys on YouTube. So that's one of the new avenues that I'm looking into this month, because it's one of those things where, whilst it does require some skill, it is something which you don't really need to work hard for. Like, if I was to start up another e-commerce shop, I would need to put in a lot of work. If I start up a new stock trading account and start trading stocks profitably, what do I need to do? I need to probably do an hour's worth of research for every single trade, maybe 2, and that's it. Just let it sit there and make me some free money. So that's one of my ideas that I'm working on at the moment. So in terms of other new ideas that I'm looking at into this month, I have quite a few. Another big piece of news before I get into some of the other new ideas, because this is quite a significant piece, is eBay. If you guys have been watching the channel since the very early days, which I know some of you have, so shout out to you, eBay has been the first topic that I ever covered on this channel. I loved selling on eBay. It was something which made me quite a lot of profit, to be honest. I was making revenue of over 10 grand a month, which is decent. Not profits of 10 grand a month, but not bad. And it's something that I really love doing. Now, what happened is I essentially got too big too quick on eBay. Some of you guys may have seen this yourselves, but what happened is I think I listed £75,000 worth of stuff, something like that, on my account. And what happened is, because I did that in like 6 months, I guess eBay were like, where's this guy getting a lot of stuff from? Now, the answer is, I buy it on wholesale in China. But I was thinking last month, I don't have the receipts for this, so I'm just going to get kicked off of eBay. And to be honest, I wasn't really in the sort of headspace where I wanted to, go through that whole process and everything like that. But I had a bit of a revelation. I found some old banking statements of mine, and I also found a piece of software which allowed me to compile my orders from AliExpress, which is one of the wholesalers that I get from, to show how many orders I've done. So what I've done is, I believe it was last night, so Saturday night, I got this data, I compiled it into a spreadsheet, and then I took images of everything I needed. So for eBay, I needed proof of address, proof of identity, and any sort of financial information which can prove where I get my stuff from. So obviously proof of identity, pretty easy, driving license, passport, anything like that. Proof of address, that also came in the form of a banking statement, so that was pretty easy as well. And in terms of looking at where I get my stuff from, I had 2 different options. I put in, firstly, my banking statements and showed every single order that I've made from AliExpress. And the second one that I did was I showed my data that I got from the spreadsheet from a piece of software that I just spoke about. So yeah, hopefully that's going to be enough to get me back on eBay, because to be honest, I could do with that source of income again. It was fun, it was easy, and it made a lot of money. So according to the eBay representatives, it's going to be like 3-4 days before I get a response from them, but hopefully it's in my favour. If not, I'm going to keep trying this month to get back on eBay, because I think it is easy enough. If I can do it, I can. If I can't do it, I can't. If not, oh well. If I can, brilliant. And we're back to business. Now, on the topic of e-commerce, whilst we're still on that, I have a couple of different ideas. I'm not too sure about Amazon. I didn't really try it as hard as I could have done last month. I wasn't really in the best place for thinking about putting 100% into business. To be honest, I was a little bit burnt out with these ideas, but I'm now coming back to a point where I'm like, yes, it's coming into the winter months. I'm going to be inside a lot because I don't really fancy venturing out as much. How do we make as much money over these winter months as possible? So I am going to try Amazon as much as possible, but it is something which to me seems quite impossible, because the profit margins on it are just so slim, and finding a good product is a lot harder, in my opinion, than it is on eBay. But I'll give it a go and we'll see how we get going with that. Now, as well, I'm looking at moving into Etsy again. I started an Etsy shop, if you remember, but I think the whole print-on-demand thing isn't working over there. I think what I really should be doing over there is looking into reselling clothing. Now, I had a clothing store on Etsy last year over summer, and I actually made a small profit on that. Admittedly, I had a few issues with sizing because items came from China, but now with the China to US/China to UK platforms that we have, a lot of sizing from China for clothes is getting a lot better. So potentially again, maybe restarting a women's clothing brand on Etsy, who knows? Because that was quite profitable last summer. And of course, the last e-commerce business I'm thinking of this year is the watch shop. So, as normal, I am still running the watch shop. I have been really for the best part of the year now. I've had different experiences depending on what month it's been. For some of the summer months, we were making an absolute killing on eBay. Then obviously I got kicked off of eBay, moved on to my own website. Since then, things have been a little bit stale, not really making as much sales as possible. Arguably my fault. I've not advertised it as much as I could or even at all. So this month we're going to be running, hopefully, well, I don't see any reason why not, our first paid ad campaign, because this business has already made me over 10 grand a month in revenue, like I said. I know we have a business here that can make money. So what are we missing? We're missing traffic to the website. If we get that, we can probably make more sales. So the question is, how do we get that? And that's going to be through ads. So there we go. That is all of the e-commerce ideas I have, just a couple. I'm starting to streamline all of these business ideas. And another great idea that I'm looking into this month is YouTube. Again, obviously we have this channel, which is coming along amazingly, but I have another YouTube channel, like I said in the video where I disclosed how much YouTube paid me for 10,000 subscribers. What I'm trying to do is restart that channel. I know for a fact that we have a good topic to talk about there, and I know for a fact we have an established brand in a specialist niche, which makes us quite a lot of money. So with all that being said, a great potential opportunity if I can be bothered to take it, so why should I not try that for the next 30 days? But that's really the plans for this month. I think what we're looking at now is realistically specialising in and streamlining the businesses that we already have. If we think about it, things like the watch shop, we know that's going to turn a profit if it's looked after correctly. On top of that, things like the YouTube is almost guaranteed a profit because we don't have to put in any work and there's an established audience already there. That is possibly even something that I can automate in the future and make basically free money off as well without having to do any work at all. But we'll see how that goes over the next 30 days. And in terms of the whole stock trading account, I know it sounds like it's a new strategy for me, and it is, but I'm not new to the stock market. My first investment was made when I was 17 years old by me, and for that reason I have quite an understanding of how it works. So hopefully that's something that can turn as a profit too into 2024. So I guess what I'm saying is we're coming into the autumn months now, getting ready for Christmas, sadly, getting ready for 2024, and we're trying to get ourselves into that position where, yes, we do have some profitable businesses. Because what it is for me is, I believe, well, it's actually this year, coming into next summer, so this time next year, I will have graduated from my degree. By that point, I want to have built an income to the point where I can A, have some breathing time to be off for the summer, the year, a couple of months, go on holiday maybe, or at least have enough money that if I did at the time want to start a full-time job that maybe makes, 20 to 40 grand a year as a graduate, I'd like to know that I could make probably an extra 10 to 20 grand at least on top of that from my own ventures. So I guess it's time to double down on the businesses for this month. I guess what I'm trying to say is last month, it was a good month. We did try some new things, and I did document most of these on the channel. But now we need to get back into the stride of it. Trying to get unbanned on eBay, trying to get the e-commerce brands fully off the ground again and working, and getting back on the grind. One thing that I am proud of is the fact that I didn't really miss many uploads here on YouTube, on this channel, for the past month, which has massively contributed to our success in the past month. Hopefully we're going to have another great month of strength here on the channel where we see even bigger growth than what we saw last month, and hopefully it won't be long before this channel is also monetized. Thank you so much for watching this video up until this point, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you soon.